It says inspire with every cup, but what happens when you can't get a cup?
Yeah, lacking inspiration then.
I It's very difficult to get Starbucks right now. And you know me, I every morning it's I'm working on some. I'm gonna keep going until they tell me I got like pre-diabetes. I just, got to get one in the morning and maybe like one in the afternoon. I probably have around 44 tablespoons of sugar, but I go every day. Except I no longer go every day because they're closed. Like, I've never seen anything like this. I don't know what's going on by you, but every day is getting worse up here.
Yeah, no, over here, the the only thing that I've noticed, I don't obviously don't go as often as you, but they definitely have been closing earlier, and that's been something that I've seen over the last 18 months, like progressively earlier and earlier and earlier. But whenever I want to get a Starbucks, I've been able to. I definitely have been able to.
I mean, it's not. There was one night I was driving home. It's like 7, and I couldn't find any open. I'm like, this is like I'm on the app and they're all closed. And I'm like, that's a little concerning. And I know it's like coffee's a morning thing, but Starbucks still stays open late and people still go. But I'm like 7 o'clock and there's none open. Is like a ghost town.
Yeah.
There's like a major one by me that's one of the busiest drive-throughs around. They weren't opening until 2 p.m. How do you miss out on the entire morning? You're a coffee shop, and they're not even open. They've not opened in days. And I'm like, what is going on? So I drove by another one this morning and they're closed. I'm like, I give up. Here's the shocker. The busiest Starbucks I know, which happens to be one of those Starbucks reserve places, it's like the marquee of
Yeah.
Starbucks. I go today and there's a big ass sign on the thing that says, we've changed our hours. We now close at 3 o'clock. And Kane, this is one of the busiest stores, and I know of in Michigan. Like, this isn't some Michigan Avenue, Chicago type busy. It's not that busy. But for Michigan, this store is humming, open to close. To close your Starbucks Reserve at 3 p.m. is mind blowing to me. Because I can't tell you how busy that store is. What the hell happens from here?
Yeah, it's true because, I, you know, I mean, it's a question that I play with in my mind a lot, which is, at least around here, the Starbucks stores here don't seem to have as much of an issue hiring, but they all do have hiring stores outside. I'm sorry, hiring signs outside. If Starbucks is not an attractive place to work, then oh dear.
I mean, as far as hourly type work goes, entry level hospitality, Starbucks is supposedly on a better end of things.
Sure, yeah.
It's a little nicer than working at Taco Bell, I gotta assume. But to see
Yeah.
this many stores shut down, to see one of their like marquee spots shut at 3 o'clock. This is a wealthy area. These people just sit there and just spend money all day drinking coffee. Like,
Yeah.
it's I couldn't believe it. And I'm like, okay, how's this going to affect the Starbucks stock? Is what I'm starting to think now.
Sure. Yeah. We can take a look at that.
And I'm not giving stock advice in any way, shape, or form, but we seen Chipotle go through similar things where they shut down their mobile ordering, they've shut down their drive-throughs in some cases. You're watching their reviews go on the tank. Like, I wonder if is that we're starting to see the curvature.
Yeah.
Is that that was kind of the peak was this summer, and like the heyday's over, and now here we go. Like, I don't. Are we going back down to just before COVID there, where it's like $85 or something? But Kane, look at 2019. Like, that was not that long ago. Is 60 out of reach?
Yeah. Wow. Now, I'm just trying to think, has anything fundamentally changed about the business since 2019 to warrant
Double.
a double? Yeah. I don't know.
That's something we can look into later, but you look at revenue over the last 2 years. That'd be something we could dig up, I guess. It's just one of those things that, and now that little Yahoo Finance thing down there, they're dealing with the union stuff
Yeah,
now.
the union. Yeah, right.
So it's like you don't know where things are going. I just know that I'm seeing up here the small businesses getting crushed.
Yeah.
And now you're watching it trickle over into places like Chipotle and Starbucks, who had the bigger brands to attract talent. I mean, Kane, you're shutting your reserve store down at 3.
Yeah, wild.
I can't even process that. And I know we'll do another episode in a minute about they extended the school loans again, and then we keep delaying reality. And it's like, well, when people have bills, they got to work.
Right.
And we keep like pushing things back, and you wonder what. So we were hoping anyways that January people were going to start to normalize. Let's go back to work. Let's try to get things moving again. Let's get rid of some of these supply chain crunches. And then you see the school loans get pushed again. And it's like, if we keep delaying reality, we're going to be screwed. So I don't know where we go from here, but because
at some point we have to grow the economy faster than inflation, right? Otherwise, we're shrinking. And I at least historically, the U.S. doesn't like to shrink, right? So it's somewhere we got to wake up to the idea that, look, we've all got to chip in a little bit to get this thing moving in the right direction again.
I mean, they're saying the economy's booming right now. But if we got high inflation and we're not growing at the rate of inflation, how are we booming?
Yeah, right. Right.
Look, when your grocery bill, when all your stuff goes up 30%, you just went backwards. Like,
yeah, the grocery bill is booming.
Yeah, the grocery, it's booming, all right. But if I see this at Starbucks, and how many stories are going on that we don't know about right now?
Right.
The smaller stores, the smaller franchises, other business owners. What else is going? This is Starbucks, and that's the only reason why I know of it, right? Because I'm there every day. What about everyone else out there?
Right.
Like when I see for hire signs at the post office, I'm concerned. Because Kane, these were considered good jobs.
Yeah.
And now you're telling me people don't even want the good jobs.
Yeah, what do we do?
I'm starting to get a little concerned. I mean, I've always been concerned, but I don't know.
All the signs that you would hope to see, like having been in this now for nearly 2 years, like at first it was, okay, inflation is transitory. Then everybody realized it's not transitory. Like we seem to just we like to hit ourselves over the head with the wake-up calls like a little too late. And the labor shortage is one that I think we're not addressing, and I don't think we're addressing it fast enough. And it's going to bite us in the butt at some point, to where we realize, oh wow, there are no viable small businesses because nobody wants to work, and everybody works for, I don't know, Amazon. And then what do we do?
Yeah, we're not the United States anymore.
Yeah.
If you look at, what entrepreneurs look like in Europe, it's not like it is here.
Right.
It's not as easy. It's not as common. This is the place where you could come here, be a first generation immigrant and really do something big. That you come here for that. But it's getting to the point now where it's getting harder and harder to thrive as a small business. You can't even get off the ground so you can get big enough to deal with some of these issues. That's why there's obviously we've been doing these shows for like 6 months now, and I've always been concerned, but I don't feel like you're always looking for something that says we're turning the corner.
Right.
I don't know if it's just like the icing on the cake was the school loans. I'm like, I don't understand the move. I can see where there's benefits to it, but like that was the last straw for me, where I don't feel like our government as a whole, and that's both sides of the aisle, really has any intentions of trying to fix this thing. Mm-hmm. We went through. I think Israel's on they're doing their fourth booster now. Like we're 2 years into this. We're talking about a fourth booster. We have massive spikes coming up again. Stores are starting to close down. I tried to get some cookies. I pull up in the parking lot and someone comes out like, how can I help you? And I'm like, I'm trying to get some goddamn cookies, like, and like, well, our lobby's closed because of COVID. They were nice. And like, well, we can ring you up and bring it out. And I'm like, that works. I love curbside. I don't like going in places anyways. But I'm starting to see that where the businesses are shutting down again. And they can't afford to, King.
Yeah.
Like, everyone's blew through their capital reserves. It's like, we got another big spike coming with the Omicron, or however the hell you say it. The school loan thing just tells me that instead of putting money on school loans, Kane, that money's going back in the economy. That is not going to help inflation. And it's like,
yeah.
Think about that. I don't know about you personally, but the few people I know that have school loans left, they haven't been spending their money on anything productive.
Yeah.
Another episode is like, who's got money for NFTs? Well, who?
People that are paying school loans.
But it can't just saying school loans. Are we at a point where we got so much extra money that we can buy shit that we absolutely don't need?
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. Can you think of the absurdity of where we're at right now?
Yeah.
And I had someone they sent me a DM from Chicago. They're like an ER doc. And they asked, like, how do people have money for NFTs? Like, I think I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
Actually, I had two of those conversations. I'm probably blurring them together. But it's like the thought of who has money for this stuff right now.
Yeah.
And it's like, we're at a point where we got money for just like ridiculous stuff. So how's inflation going to get better, Kane?
I don't know, but it's going to be painful when we finally realize that we're going to have to address it.
We're not going to. We're going to we shouldn't. There's so many things we're just doing wrong, and we're just digging the hole deeper. And we're not giving people a reason to go back to work. We went through all these vaccinations, and we're almost right back where we started. Inflation's through the roof. We don't have people working. I'm looking for some glimmer of hope here. And right now, I don't see it. And I'm like someone that wakes up in the morning trying to be positive. Like, I got to go crush it, right? But do you feel like there's all these external forces that are purposely trying to just trip you up? So I'm really starting to see it hit the small business community. And that's concerning. I mean, small business employs like 50% of all people in the country, right?
Right.
And that's going to become 40% because the other 10% is going to go work for Amazon. And we're going to get in a point where it's only the big corporations. That's it. That's life.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like fun.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I guess I'll keep an eye on the stock, but I just don't know what the hell next year brings, man. This isn't about like I can't get my Starbucks. You're crying because you can't get Starbucks. I make my own coffee at home if I want. I make a better coffee at home. It ain't about that. It's that if I see Starbucks going through this much pain, what is the local mom and pop shop going through?
Oh yeah. This is a comment on the viability of a capitalist society. It functions on a bed of productivity. People and then consumerism. But if you only have consumerism without the productivity, then I just don't know how it works.
Well, it doesn't. We're at that point now where we are consuming more than we can produce. And then we have the people who aren't producing complaining that they can't consume, even though they're not part of the production. How the hell does that work?
Right.
Like, I'm
Right.
going to get mad that I can't buy something right now, but I'm also not participating in the workforce to help ease that pain.
Right.
I just think that's where we're at right now as a society, where we're like that entitled. It's, well, I don't want to work, then I want to complain that the line is around the McDonald's. Why is this line so long? Well, no one's working. Like, it's that that question: what happens when we have people with too much money and they stop producing, and then we can't just turn into a society that consumes?
Yeah.
We're screwed. Monsanto better start growing some more Terminator corn or whatever the hell it is they do. Like, can you realize there's like a handful of people in this world that keep things ticking?
Yeah. Yeah.
The farmers that like produce our food, the people that are sitting in ER right now, making sure that there's a handful of people that keep this world moving. And then we're kind of all sitting around just expecting them to do that.
Stop it if we can't get our Starbucks.
Yeah. Gonna be an interesting year, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
So, anyways, if you're listening to this, we got 2 episodes coming up. One on who the hell has money for NFTs, which is a valid question. And then we're also going to talk about the effects of the school loans and all that type of stuff. So, tune into the next one. I'll catch you until then.